Hello, I just want to do a quick video about my 2013 R56 Mini Cooper S, about its sunroof. So I've read a few horror stories about these sunroofs. In some cases they can cause a problem. So I wanted to see if there was some way I could do some preventative maintenance to prevent any problems occurring. So I've had a read about it, and it appears to be all about the rubber seals. Essentially, you've got to prevent the rubber seals from drying out. When they dry out, they become they're no longer flexible, and that's when the problems occur, because as the sunroof closes, the rubber seals have to squash into each other to make a seal. And obviously if they're firm, they can't seal properly, and in some cases the anti-trap feature of the sunroof thinks, for example, there's fingers in there, and it opens the sunroof again. So I've been having a look around and reading, and I found this little product. It is so it's made by Worth. It's rubber fit, and let's find it. So it says suitable for taking care of rubber seals such as sunroof, door and engine compartment. Features now silicone free. That's really important. I looked into that, and I think it's to do with squeaking. So don't ever put silicone based products on rubber. So as you can see, resistant to dilute acids, alkali sprays, etc, etc. And critically, it doesn't attack paint. So I thought I would just do a quick video and see how we can use this to keep the sunroof in good shape. So I'm going to start with the rear panel of the sunroof. I've got one of the later cars that's got two panels that open. So I'm going to start with the rear panel, and it's simply a case of, keep the bottle tilted up if possible, and rub it along there. So I'm going to continue to do that all the way around this outer seal. Now obviously, as you can see, it gets a bit difficult here, so I'm going to, this little section, I'm just going to put some of it on my fingers and work it in. I'm just going to stop the video for that. That's right, so I've got this whole rear section done. As you can perhaps see there, it's a little bit wet, it's still drying. It does dry pretty quick. I did find sort of angling the bottle and very gently squeezing it helped, and I actually found that on this little tricky bit here, I sort of like pushed it in. I was able to actually get that without using my fingers. So okay, so we've got this part of the rear panel done, but what I want to do is I want to do this seal. As you can hopefully see, this seal is also flexible. So as this comes down, this has got a squish in, so it's really important this one doesn't dry out. So obviously we can't get the bottle in there, so I'm actually going to use, the only real way to do that is to put it on my finger and work it around. It's going to be a bit messy, but there's a good step in there to catch any, so there's no risk of any of it going in the car. So I'm going to do that now. As you can see, I've worked my way around this with my finger. It's pretty easy to do. The product's quite nice. It's nice and runny, so you can get plenty on your finger. I think the point to note is make sure you get it along the top, because that's the bit that's getting exposed to the sun. But also, it's hard for me to show, but get it around the actual like kind of side of or the back of the seal as well. So not just the top, but get it in there. So before I close the rear panel, because obviously I'm going to work on the front, a little point to note as part of the maintenance procedure, make sure your runners are greased. Now this has been done by Mini, so one would assume they know what they're doing in terms of where to do it. I'm hoping during the ownership of this car I'm never going to have to do this, but as you can see, there's grease there, and it basically it appears to kind of go along. Obviously that I think that would be quite difficult to do, but I think the only way that you could actually do that would be to have a tub of grease and I suppose a long thin paintbrush, and then you just stick the paintbrush in and again just kind of working in. But if you're doing any greasing, the first thing to do is make sure whatever you're greasing's clean. There's no point in greasing over dirty runners, so because that can make the problem worse. So yeah, so that's just a note on that really. Okay, so I'm going to open the front panel and work on that. So we've got the front panel open. This should be much easier to do than the rear panel. So where we're going to do it, so this, I'm not going to do this because this is just metal. There's no rubber there. What I'm going to do this seal again as before, and then so that's going to go all the way around, And then finally, this one's quite important. I'm going to do this seal. And again, because all of this stuff's accessible, I can just work my way along, you know, just do a bit there like that, as you can see. You can see the bit I've done there. Okay, I'm just going to quickly work around that now. We're all done. So a little note, as I said, I had to use my finger to get it in here, and I made sure I got not only on the top, on the side. The rest of it was pretty easy, with the exception, just had to push that down while I was doing the front. Once again, talking about grease, just so you can have a little look. That's where the grease is, and again, that's been fitted by or applied by BMW MINI. So it's just all about the runners, really. What I've also read is people who park regularly under like trees that drop leaves and things and sap, those type of people tend to have more problems. So perhaps, if possible, take care where you park. Keep the car clean, obviously, just pretty basic stuff. There is one thing I've read, heat, extreme heat. You know, some parts of America and stuff, maybe like Florida, this frame can actually buckle under the heat. I guess there's not a lot you can do about that, but perhaps just, you know, if you can, watch where you park and try and get under the shade now and again. The last thing I wanted to say really about the sunroof was the last bit of the maintenance is to make sure the water drains away. So there's a really easy way to test this. I'm not going to do this, but basically you get a very small receptacle of water, and there's no danger of it, well, very little danger of it going in the car because of this sort of like lip. The four drains, the front drains are here, so you just basically pour a little bit of water, and then what you do as you pour it, you just make sure it drops out the bottom, and that's both sides at the front. And for the rear drains, pour the water here on both sides of the car, and then make sure that the water escapes from here. Now if it doesn't, it'll mean you have a blockage, and I'm not 100% sure how you would fix that. What I've done in the past with an older vehicle, it was actually a Ford. I got a flex from an old iron, and I removed the plug, and the flex was quite stiff, and it went down the pipe and it unblocked it. Don't put wire down, because these pipes are rubber and you can easily puncture the rubber, so don't put like you know, like a coat hanger or something like that. Don't do that, but a flex, like a nice soft flex, could perhaps do it. Other than that, any sort of serious leaks or blockages, it's kind of got to remove the headliner, so that's quite a big job. But obviously the first step is to just make sure the drains are clear, and at least if they're not, you can take action before it becomes a real big problem. Okay, so I hope this has helped. Thanks for watching.